Yeah, it's been a terrific, I think, looking at how new technology is available for you with a lot of the engineering prowess, right, that Nutanix is offering here. One of the things that struck me in some of the sessions that I was attending earlier, I was attending the database as a service offering, our NDB offering. One of the customers there expressed how a year ago at .next, they heard a very large financial institution talking about their success with NDB. And it was that customer talking that gave them the confidence to go and move forward with a brand new product. And so with that in mind, I'd like to go and bring up a customer. We have a warm welcome for the Assistant Vice President of Infrastructure Cloud Services at Assurant, Barrett Sprague, and our Chief Customer Experience Officer, Inder Sidhu. Please welcome them.
Barrett, have a seat. Thanks. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? We're close to the end. We're in the home stretch. Just the last few minutes where we're going to talk with one of our esteemed customers from Assurant, Barrett Sprague. A little bit of a quick 10, 12, 15-minute fireside chat, and let's get into it. Okay, so we've gone through several demos this morning, and hopefully you enjoyed those. What we wanted to do is get a little bit of customer perspective, and what I also wanted to do is focus a little bit on the support and services side of the house. We've given you so much information during this conference about the product side. I want to twist it a little bit or pivot it a little bit toward the support side of things. But before we do that, Barrett, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Assurant.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Assurant is a premier protection company that partners with some of the world's leading brands to service and protect your connected devices, your home, your automobile. We have presence in 21 countries and about 325 million customers with global revenues of around $12 billion annually.
$12 billion, so that's pretty big. Fortune 500?
It is, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us a little bit about, and by the way, I got my little handy dandy Jerry Springer cue cards over here, but no fights on stage. Tell us a little bit about your environment, the complexity of your environment, how big it is, and what you're doing with it.
Sure, yeah, the estate is about 24,000 cores in total. We've got presence multinational, right? And with that, there's a lot of complexity, right? You have to have different sizes and configurations for all those various workloads, and it can be quite challenging, right? Especially with some of the previous infrastructure that we've had.
Yeah, yeah. So when you have that size of an environment, how often do you upgrade it, and how does that work out? I know you've got networking, compute, storage, virtualization, everything. You got Nutanix, you got other vendors, and so on. How do you keep all that sprawl under control and the blast radius contained when it comes to managing that on an ongoing basis with Nutanix and others?
Yeah, well, I'd say prior to Nutanix, it was certainly more difficult, right? We had a limited amount of change, and they were large blast radius changes. You do just a couple of array upgrades a year, and we talk about the compute space, that would be addressed once or twice a year. But now with Nutanix, I think we pulled some metrics. We did about 380 LCM changes last year, right? So more than one a day. And it's allowed us to really scale down the size of those changes, do them more frequently, give us a lot more confidence in our ability to perform.
So that's pretty interesting. Averaging one a day. So you're basically very confident that the change is going to go through. It's very easy to do, unlike sort of trying to do it once every 6 months or 12 months. Now, that's not necessarily something that's recommended for everybody, but I think at least it shows that things like LCM can really make your life a lot easier.
Yep, that was a major driving factor.
Yeah, and so tell me a little bit, Barrett, about your journey with Nutanix, right? Over the years, you were a little bit cautious in the beginning when you first found out about us. What was it, 7 or 8 years ago?
Yeah, so as an insurance company, we're obviously risk adverse, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we started with the EUC space, I think in 2017. It had a lot of success there. And then on the data center side of the house, we started to look at it in 2019. And we evaluated several other products, and we deemed Nutanix to be the best of breed in that space. So this conference is a little bit full circle for me now, because in 2017 or 2019, I'm sorry, we went to Anaheim and had conversations with some of your existing customers when we were a prospect.
I remember that.
And now we're on the other side of that coin, right? Having the conversation as an existing established customer with some of the prospects.
Yeah, Barrett and I were talking backstage about how he was asking other customers, and now he's at dinner telling other customers about Nutanix. So obviously, a good, pleasant experience for you. Now, tell us about your state. It looks like you are a mixed environment between AHV and ESXi.
Yep. Yeah, so right now, we're about 55% AHV, right? And that estate size is growing, but yeah, there is still a significant VMware presence in our environment.
So about half and half, but the AHV footprint is growing.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we won't get too much into the details of sort of the VMware stuff at this point in time, just to kind of make sure everything is above board and all of that, et cetera. But what I wanted to do is have you share with us a little bit of your experience, not just with the products of Nutanix, but also with the services of Nutanix. And before we go into that, I just want to make a point, which is that Nutanix, obviously very well known for our services and support capabilities, but that is predominantly a model that we deliver with our partners. We have fantastic partners, fully certified, many of them in the room. We have partners for almost everything that we do. Ecosystem partners, product development partners, services delivery partners, training partners, channel partners, et cetera. And I just want to give a shout out to these partners who are in the room and who are a fundamental part of our services delivery. In fact, ideally, I'd love to have 0 services if I could, but every once in a while, we got some new products or strategic customers where we need to personally engage. But by and large, our partners play a big, big role in this. But let's talk about how you leverage Nutanix services. Initially, when you started out, you had to do a lot of design work, I'm assuming.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So after we made the selection to go with Nutanix, we reached out and said, we would like a little bit of additional guidance, right, around how to best architect the solution to provide the most resiliency and ensure that we had adequate performance for our applications. So Nutanix graciously offered up Artur, who gave us a demo just a few minutes ago, right? And we collaborated with Artur and created I think about 130-page design document. Is very comprehensive in scope, ranging from all of the ancillary systems that would connect in and interface with the environment, as well as the Nutanix environment.
Yeah, Nutanix technology, as all of you know from having used it, generally tends to be relatively simple, but Artur, who is an NPX certified person and has been on the enterprise architecture team, is very detail-oriented, so 130-page document doesn't surprise me. And that wasn't something that, by the way, we have a team of enterprise architects. That's not something we charge for. It's something that if you need the help in the initial stages of your deployment, your design and all of that, we'll work with you to make sure that it's done correctly and then follows on from there. So sounds like you had a good sort of positive experience with Artur. Now,
and fun as well. So you think about building out a design document of that size. It was actually Artur made it a very enjoyable experience.
Yeah. By the way, NPX is our highest level of certification, and the final test of NPX requires you to spell Artur's last name. And that's the part where most people flunk. Right, he's got a long last name, as those of you who know him remember. But one of the things you were talking about earlier, Barrett, when we were chatting backstage, was this notion that, yes, our partners, Nutanix itself, we can all help you, but really you want to upskill your own capabilities with your own team. So how did Nutanix and Artur and the team help you with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a pretty big shift for us, right, coming from a traditional three-tier architecture over to HCI. So we wanted to make sure that our engineering staff was able to hit the ground running and support us right from day one. So we partnered with Nutanix to deliver some custom content training classes, and that really helped give us a jump start and that additional level of confidence in that platform. And then we also leveraged Nutanix University, right, which is a great asset out there for folks.
Yeah, Nutanix University has obviously a lot of content, and then of course the education classes that we deliver. And now you're also doing lunch and learns and things like that, boot camps.
Yep.
And were we able to customize any of the training for you, or was it sort of a little bit more generic?
Oh no, it was entirely customized. So we also had a resident that was engaged early
Oh,
on,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
And so we would have the resident, well, he helped bootstrap the environment for us, but we also, once things were level set and our staff was up to speed, we were able to leverage the resident to continue to provide educational services, lunch and learn activities, to onboard the wider staff.
And that's kind of an interesting offering, right? Because many companies offer that. We do as well a embedded resident architect who is provided from either ourselves or from one of our partners, someone who's deeply technical, whose fingers and keyboards can engage in the day-to-day work, but also someone who's technically deeply certified, deeply qualified to actually be credible enough to even teach and upskill your teams. And by the way, one of the things we found is, of course, any customer that actually is doing any deployment of scale, once they engage a resident, sort of all good things happen. And by that, what I mean is, there's fewer support cases, deployments go faster, there's no risk, there's no downtime, and adoption of technology is much faster, et cetera. So it sounds like you also had that kind of an experience with a couple of our residents.
Yep, absolutely. And some additional services too around like the TAM.
Yeah.
Kind of jumping ahead to that, I think the TAM is a great service to consume where they provide guidance over which code revisions to go to. It's not just around escalating support cases or anything like that, right? It's around providing the guidance of where we should go, what versions we should adopt and when. And also it's nice where, if a new version of a product comes out, they'll do an overview of the feature sets and capabilities and how we can best leverage those to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and we found that, by the way, to what Barrett was referring to, even though the residents tend to be full-time, on the ground, 100% working with you, we have TAMS who you can, get as a slice, 1/5 of a person or or 2/5, et cetera. And they kind of become the guardians of your estate, right? They're looking at all the software releases, which one should be deployed, when it should be deployed and all of that. And I think that's, we always look to our TAMs whenever there's a support issue, and they're all over it. And how often were they doing reviews with you, your TAM?
Oh, we meet every other week.
Every other week.
Yep.
Okay, so
there's
things
a standing call, and there's a deck that's put together where we talk about. We'll start with open cases, right? But then we'll move on to like what's the estate look like, right, from a version perspective, and are there any things that we need to watch out for, and then we'll delve into new features and capabilities of products that are coming.
And one of the things that the TAMs do is they are very much connected to the Nutanix support organization, right? We have, I don't know, in my organization, I think I have about 800 people doing support, and probably out of a 1,500-person group. So the TAMs connect directly to the support, so everything is very seamless, I'm assuming, between them, right?
It is, yeah.
And what's your experience been with Nutanix support in general?
Oh, it's gold star all the way. So, one of the things that we've had with Nutanix is we find if we call them about a problem, we'll get them engaged, and it's not just about getting us off the phone, right? And they'll fix the problem, but then they'll look around and say, what else within that environment or that cluster needs some attention? Right? And they'll provide some recommendations there.
And with many of you who've had the conversation during the course of this conference, we keep hearing this comment about, your support is very good, it's the gold standard we hold things up to, but when we built our support organization, we used a few very basic principles, right? One was hire the best of the best engineers, pay them as much as developers, make sure that your case doesn't get handed from one to another. Make sure everybody is able to handle the hardest cases. Leverage AI. Do all of those things in order to deliver a great support experience. And that's it's turned out to be quite positive. Now, interestingly, so you've touched, Barrett, on sort of the whole range of services that our partners and Nutanix jointly can deliver, right? So everything from architectural services with the architect, from hands-on services with the resident, day 2 hands-on services, but also deployment services with our consultants, the ongoing maintenance and monitoring of the environment with our TAMS, and of course the educational services. So kind of the whole range, and then rounding it out with support, which then stays very much connected to our engineering teams to make sure you always have a path to our support organizations, to our engineering teams. And oh, by the way, you guys have influenced our roadmap multiple times with issues that you brought up. So really appreciate all the stuff that you've done as a customer. Really appreciate your sharing some of your thoughts with our team over here. And once again, a big shout out to our partners with whom we're making this services delivery possible. So thank you very much, Barrett.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Inder.
it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Now I think it's back to Lee.
Thank you so much, Inder. Barrett, thank you. Yeah, terrific to hear from customers live about what it's like working with Nutanix. And you know, we've had a terrific this was a bold experiment, by the way, to take an entire session on demos, make it accessible though, right? Try and show you how the context would be set, what you saw, look at it from a user perspective. And so we really enjoy, I think, you know, and would love your feedback on this part of the event. We have a whole series of events, including 90 breakout sessions that start right after this session. So you'll want to go to those really quickly. And then finally, you know, I'd like to say one thing, which is, you know, we heard from Jose yesterday. One of the things I took away, right? You have one life. Where you invest your time, it's your decision. You chose to invest your time with us. And we're honored for that. We're looking to basically deserve that trust, earn your engagement, and coincidentally, your business too. So with that, have a terrific rest of day 2, .next 2025.